Thank you, David. I now have the great pleasure to introduce you to our guest commencement speaker, Connie Britton. Four-time Emmy-nominated actress Connie Britton continually receives accolades for her work in television and film. After standout roles on series such as Spin City, 24, and The West Wing, she starred in one of the best reviewed shows on television, NBC's Friday Night Lights, for which she received an Emmy nomination in 2010 and then again in 2011. Britton returned to the small screen in the fall of 2012, starring in ABC's Nashville, in which she played Raina James, a legendary country music superstar, earning Britton her first Golden Globe nomination and fourth Emmy nomination. Britton also starred as the female lead, Vivian Harmon, in the first season of American Horror Story. Yeah, it just goes on and on. I'm like one-third of the way through here. That's the Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk's Golden Globe and Emmy-nominated series for FX. She teamed up with Ryan Murphy again in American Crime Story, The People vs. O.J. Simpson for FX, in which she played Faye Resnick, and most recently for Murphy's new Fox procedural first responder drama 911, alongside Angela Bassett and Peter Krause. This past fall, Britton also appeared in Frankie Shaw's Golden Globe-nominated comedy Smilf for Showtime. Britton will next star in and executive produce the first season of Bravo Media's scripted anthology series Dirty John, based on the articles and breakout true crime podcast of the same name from the LA Times reporter Christopher Goddard. In film, Connie's recent credits include Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman, Beatrice at Dinner with our very own faculty member David Warshawski, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, This Is Where I Leave You, The To-Do List, Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, and American Ultra. In April 2014, Connie Britton was appointed as a Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations Development Program. In this role, she raises awareness of the UNDP's work in poverty eradication and women's empowerment, advocating to the American and the global public. Britton is a graduate of Dartmouth College, where she majored in Asian Studies. Please join me in welcoming Connie Britton.
Okay, I've already almost fallen through the stage. It's off to a great start. Hey! What's up? Oh, man! Hi! Class of 2018! Woo! Whoa! You guys are blowing my mind right now. I didn't realize you were going to make me want to cry. I hope I'm going to get through it without crying, Dominique. Dean Bridell, thank you so much for asking me to join you on this extraordinary day. And I want to say also welcome to the faculty, who is incredible, and to the parents and families of the graduates of the USC School of Dramatic Arts. Parents and families, I feel ya. Your kid went to USC and ended up studying theater. Oh, yeah. I would like to say to you, congratulations. Thank you for getting through the anxiety and the stress of that. And now it's just smooth sailing. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on, that may not be accurate. Anyway, congrats, guys, really. Well done. And to you, the students, man, y'all are a powerful force, really. You're making me want to cry. And I'm terrified of you. Help, I am terrified. Okay. I mean, you're a force to be reckoned with. I feel a little bit like I don't really belong here. I mean, a lot like I don't belong here. I didn't go to USC. I didn't. And I went to Dartmouth, up in New Hampshire, far, far, far from Los Angeles. And the whir of USC. And I didn't major in dramatic arts or fine arts or any arts. I majored in Chinese. Oh yeah, that's right, Chinese. Parents, imagine how my folks felt when I was going to take my education in Chinese and Asian studies straight to New York to be an actor. Bless their hearts. They survived it though. I want you to know that. But students, let's get serious for a minute. Can you feel your power today? Do you feel that? I mean, really, guys, I can feel it. And you did it. You all have so much collective power right now. You've achieved something so magnificent, so rare, so enormous. So take this moment and just feel that. Feel what it feels like. Breathe it in. Let it linger and lodge inside you, because you're going to want it later. You're going to need it later. And while you're at it, feel the impact that you've already had on each other. I could tell that just from listening to the speeches. And the impact that you've had on your teachers and your community, on me, on your parents, your poor parents. I want you to really install that feeling of power and impact into your being somewhere, so you can revisit it in the moments where your sense of power and impact are completely lost and gone. Because there are going to be those moments. I know you know that, but there are going to be those moments. So take this. But those moments are going to be the ones that will shape you. And with that in mind, I want to talk to you today about 3 things that you may consider cliche at face value, but come on, don't be jaded, BFAs. Fear, dreams, and service. And then we're going to end with a story about a pencil. Okay, so starting with fear. Fear is a biggie. As an actor, I found that for me, the most authentic way to start playing a role is to start right from where I am emotionally in that moment, personally. That's why I felt compelled to tell you right off the bat that at the moment I'm freaking terrified. Of you, mostly, but also of the role that I've been asked to play here today. This is not my comfort zone. I mean, first of all, I had to write this speech. Now, you can ask any writer that I've worked with how quick I am to give dialogue tweaks to their magnificent writing. Oh yeah, writers love that. That's so helpful. So many good ideas from the actor. Thanks a million. But yet, over the years, I've grown comfortable doing this because of a few wonderfully collaborative writer-directors I've had the honor to work with and to be shaped by, particularly Ed Burns on my first film, The Brothers McMullen, and Pete Berg on the film and TV show Friday Night Lights. They both empowered me to take the character that they had created and deepen her voice from my own knowing. And by that, I mean that they didn't care if I made suggestions about lines and moments. In fact, they invited it. And by so doing, they created a monster. Now that influence has helped me to be the actor that I am, for better or for worse, and in some situations worse, depending on the poor writer. But what else it has done, it's given me confidence to do something that isn't inherently my thing. And that's good. It's helped me to grow and to take risks. And now I do more writing, and I've expanded to being a producer, done a little singing. And so when Dean Bridell came to ask if I would be willing to do the commencement speech to the USC School of Dramatic Arts, I was aghast. Are you kidding me? No way. I mean, I can't be talking to this amazing group of the finest and brightest in the arts in the country. You gotta have the wrong girl. And by the way, I do want to say this is an important point, because feeling like an imposter or like you don't belong is a key element in accepting challenges and taking risks. But let me be clear, it is not comfortable. I am not comfortable right now. I am sweating in my dress. Still, recognize that feeling in yourself, that feeling of feeling like an imposter, like you don't belong, you're not good enough, and take the challenge anyway. Because hey, once I got over the feeling of being aghast and horrified that I'd been asked to give this address, I thought, well, of course I must do it. I can write. I have written some amazing lines of dialogue. Ask any beleaguered Nashville writer. And I did recently turn 50, which I guess puts me in the category of life-experienced wise person. So there was a brief moment, actually, for me of downright cockiness, derived largely from any and all previous successes and achievements in my life, which made me think, yeah, I got this. And I do think that cockiness is important, even if it's short-lived, which it almost always is. No, it always is for me. So I tried to hang on to the cockiness part for a while, which basically just meant I put off writing this speech and mostly just talked about the fact that I was going to give the speech, which I was very proud and honored by. And then I started to write. I'm going to just share with you a little bit of my experience writing the speech. It went something like this. Tears, overwhelmed, yelled at my kid, more tears, ridiculous that I ever thought I could do this. Why did I say yes to this? I need to start saying no. Nausea, I don't know how, I am not qualified. I need help, but there's no one to help. I don't have the right tools. Sleep loss, yell at my kid again, tears. It's been really epic. But as an artist speaking to future fellow artists, I knew I had to do it. I had to figure it out. Because being an artist means pushing your own limits all the time. It means taking risks that feel terrifying. It means really feeling like you might fail because you have taken a challenge that is just too great. This one might just kill you. And if it doesn't kill you, it will make you stronger. That's a cliche. I know, it's a cliche, but it's a good one and a true one. And if there's one thing you can come away with today, it's heed cliches, they're usually right. And also when you leave here today, I know that you're gonna be feeling elated, but you will have many days to follow that feel like they challenge you beyond your capacities, that you're not gonna be able to make it in every aspect of your life. But keep going, because you're an artist. Those moments will shape you into the artist, the human that you are. So how do you keep going? Dreams. I'm imagining and assuming that each of you had a dream that got you here today. And no two dreams are the same. Isn't that incredible? Your dream is your own driving force that no one else can ever duplicate. And it will drive you and shape you as it can only for you. I dreamed of being an actor from a very young age. I wrote plays in elementary school. I performed plays in my public high school. I was vice president of the drama department. The president was a guy, of course. I even directed a little. In late night phone conversations with my best friend Martha, we would muse about what we wanted to do when we grew up. I always said actor. She wanted to be a ski bum. Both of those things had about the same level of reality for two small-town Virginia girls in 1985. Well, I was lucky enough to get into a great liberal arts college, Dartmouth. No USC, I am aware. And I was quickly cast in the Bertolt Brecht play, The Good Person of Szechuan, my freshman fall. Well, that play was no fun. I mean, have you guys done Brecht? So that made my decision for me. The acting thing, that was a childish pipe dream, and now I was in college. It was time to, figure out what I want to do with my life, focus. So I stopped doing the theater, started studying Chinese, cool, and thinking about what I really wanted to do when I grow up. Only thing is the dream kept gnawing at me, and by my sophomore year, I was back in the theater again, this time playing Lizzie in N. Richard Nash's The Rainmaker. The dream had hooked me in again. At this point, I had a good deal of Chinese and a term spent in China under my belt, but I felt great about that, even as I became more and more sure that I wanted to give this acting thing a try, because I always felt that immersing myself with as many different people and cultures and stories and ways of thinking and being and living could only make me a better actor. And I believe that today. Trust your dream. Trust that it will take you down the right roads, even if you find that they're speaking Chinese and singing Beijing opera along the way. And tell the stories you find there. But there will also be rejection along these roads. I kept doing theater for the rest of my time at Dartmouth, and by my senior year, I was playing Agave in Euripides' The Bacchae, to rave reviews, I might add. As with many schools, Dartmouth was sending a group of students to the League auditions, which was an opportunity to be seen in a collective environment by various grad schools, agents, producers, etc. Even though I was playing the lead in a main stage play on campus and had performed in multiple productions during my time at the college, the heads of the drama department still insisted that I audition for them before they could recommend me for the League auditions, because remember, Chinese, not a drama major. So I did the monologue for them on the same stage that I would be performing on later that night, carrying my son's decapitated head around on the stage Greek style. And I don't know, maybe you have guessed already, but I wish I had saved the letter. I didn't get to go with Dartmouth to the League auditions. As the letter stated tersely, the heads of the drama department just didn't feel I could represent Dartmouth in that way. Rejection by my own college. I found myself thinking, wait, didn't I pay you people a lot of money to help me move toward my future? That one really hurt and created tremendous self-doubt, as well as a general feeling of ridiculousness. And there were so many such moments along the way, moments where I questioned my very sense of myself and my sanity. But the dream kept pushing through the fear, through the rejection. And it was later, when I was out of school and pounding the pavement in New York City, that I had my most important realization of all. It happened in a strange way. I started to meditate. I'm not suggesting everyone needs to go start meditating, but what it did for me was it put my attention on my breath and then ultimately outside myself. Meditation allowed me to rid myself of my own concepts of who I think I am, and therefore be available to a bigger inner world and a bigger outer world. Here's what I've taken away from that. All this work isn't about me. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty out there who make it all about them to much success. But for me, my dream has shaped me so that I can surround myself with other artists and instead of feeling jealous, feel inspired. I realize there's enough humanity out there for all of us. And when we join together, we can reflect something huge to each other and to the world. I've found that generosity to my fellow artists is a fungible, energetic cycle that begets true creativity and real vision. And my dream, which started as a Chinese major who loved the theater, has given me an awareness of the world and a desire to serve in the world. That has been a wonderful, exciting experience. To be able to see every role I play, whether it be a woman on television or in a film, or a commencement speaker, or a UN Goodwill Ambassador, as an opportunity to serve, to immerse in the world, and maybe even change it, has been the greatest gift of my life. Because when you aren't so busy in your own head, there's so much opportunity to see the world beyond. And we, as storytellers, have a unique positioning in the sea of humanity to actually shape it, reflect it, and shape it. And all of this we do with our very own individual dreams. So your form of service will most certainly be different from mine. And thank goodness, because the world needs your form, whatever that may look like. So that brings me to my pencil story. Remember, I promised you a pencil story. It's not a story, really. It's a little piece of advice given to me back in my early New York days by my friend Asif Manvi. Do you guys know Asif? He was a correspondent on The Daily Show. Yes, applause for Asif. He was a correspondent on The Daily Show. He's an award-winning playwright and actor in multiple plays, movies, and TV shows. But this was back in our New York days when we were working together doing murder mysteries, which entailed gathering with a group of actors on a street corner in New York City, piling into a van and driving to some upstate or outlying Elks Lodge, where we would put on a murder mystery dinner party for the folks in attendance. And for our efforts, we were paid $50, which I was thrilled about because it meant I was a professional actor. Hello. Anyway, it was in those murder mystery days that Asif and I were both trying to get work, and I was frustrated. I probably had my 10th humiliating rejection of the week and was lamenting it to Asif. Asif, for those of you who don't know him, is an Indian American, and as hard as it is to get jobs as a woman, try being an Indian dude, right? This is why it's important. But on this particular day, he told me this. Lamb, we call each other Lamb. Think of it as if we all have pencils we're trying to sell. And your pencils are only yours and not like anyone else's. But they're good pencils. And there will be those out there who really want your pencils and those who want a different kind of pencil, which doesn't make your pencil bad. You just have to keep it sharp and make sure it's yours. And someday, someone is going to want that exact pencil, and you'll be ready. Remember what I was saying about cliches? Okay, well, maybe if nothing else, you remember this pencil thing, because it is so simple, but it has helped me every step of the way to know that no one has what I have. No one's fear or dream or service is like mine. This helps me to remember, don't worry so much about what they're looking for, the producers, directors, companies, bosses of the world. Worry about what you have to give. That's yours, and it's worth everything. Respect your artistry. Respect your uniqueness. Let it and your fears and dreams carry you to serve as a storyteller, life reflector, human. Because if you don't, who will? Thank you all so much for this extraordinary opportunity to speak with you today. I wish you amazing journeys and discoveries. Fight on!